Okay, in this video we're going to combine like terms and learn what all that means. So we do have a few definitions to go over. A couple of them we've already done in the first video. But to start off, the word constant simply means a number that does not change. It's just your basic numbers. It could be a fraction number, it could be a decimal number, but it's just a number like 5, 16, -2, 3.1, any kind of number that doesn't change, okay? And it's by itself. A variable is a letter that stands for a value that may change. You got M, N, X, Y, A, B, okay, all those are variables, okay, letters. So a constant is a number, a variable is a letter. A variable expression is going to contain constants, variables, and operational symbols, okay, or can also contain a combination. Like here, that's a variable and a constant, and we call that the coefficient, which we'll learn later. But basically, you could have a combination of variables and numbers, but they're all separated by plus and minus, okay? And of course, you have the times and dividing, but you don't really see the times, but it's right there, okay? Numerical expression we talked about before, but it only contains numbers. That's what we use for order of operations. Okay, the word term could stand for a constant, a variable, or a product of constants and variables, separated by a plus sign and a minus sign. All right, so here's an example of like, this is an variable expression, and it's got one term is here, that's a term. It's got a variable and a number. Here it's got another term, it's got a variable and a number. And here it's got another term with a variable and a number. And they're separated by plus and minus. All right, that's going to be, all these individual ones are what we call terms. Okay, coefficient is the number in front of the variable. For example, if we have 15n, that number 15 is what we call the coefficient. Co means with, so this number is with a variable. So it's in front of it. 15 is the coefficient here, 3 is the coefficient here, and 4 would be your coefficient here. Okay? All right. Now, to talk about like terms are terms, those guys that are sticking together, that have the same variable raised to the same power. Okay? So if we have 3x to the 4th, and if I have negative 8x to the 4th, these are like terms because they both have a variable, the same variable, and it's raised to the 4th power. Doesn't matter what number's in front. All that matters is the letter and what power it's raised to. Okay? All constants are like terms because you can add all the numbers together or subtract them, whatever. Okay? Now, here's the thing. We can only combine like terms. You can only put together, you can only add or subtract guys that have the same letter raised to the same power. All right, so let's do a few examples. All right, if we're going to simplify this, again, we're not solving for x. There's no equal sign here. There's no equation. We're just simply going to simplify this, meaning we're going to make it smaller. We're going to make it look a little simpler. All right, so the first thing I want you to do is a circle or box or triangle, whatever, the like terms. So, for example, I've got 3x, and then I've got 2x. Now, the second step is you want to make sure you include the sign in front of the term. Now, here, our 3x, it's really a positive 3x, even though we don't write it. So I can remember to think about it like this. But here I've got 2x with a plus in front of it. So you want to make sure you reach over and circle the plus sign as well. Now, all constants are like terms, so I'm going to go ahead and box them up. I'm not going to use a circle because they're not like the x terms, okay? I remember to box up the sign in front. And then you just simply combine them, okay? So this is 3x plus 2x. Well, 3 plus 2 is 5, so now I've got 5x's. And 9 minus 8 is going to be plus 1. So now that is a simplified version of the original problem. Okay? Let's do 2 more. All right, here I've got a bunch of terms. As a matter of fact, I have 1 term, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms in here. All right, so I'm going to start with the y squared terms first. I'm going to circle the negative y squared here and the positive 8y squared. Now I'm going to box up my y terms. Remember, this y term and that y squared term are not the same. Even though they have the same letter, it's not raised to the same power. So I'm going to box up the other negative or minus 4y. Okay, then I guess I'll have to use triangles now. I'm going to triangle the 10, and there really wasn't a sign to circle in front, but I know that it's positive, and I got a positive 2. So now I put together those that have the same shape over them. Okay, so I've got 8y squared minus, now remember, there's nothing in front of here, it looks like. But you got to remember, since it is one of them, it really is a 1 in front of it. It's like 1y squared. So 8 minus 1, I'm going to put the answer over here, is 7y squared. All right, and sometimes it might be helpful just to cross those out because you're done with them. You don't want to be confused by them again. And then I've got the boxes now. I've got 12y minus 4y. Well, that's going to be 12 minus 4 is positive 8y. Okay? I can get rid of those. Now I've just got my constants to take care of. I got 10 plus 2, which is 12. So again, here is a simplified version of that. This only has 1, 2, 3 terms, where before I had 6 terms. So you see how it is a little bit simpler. Okay, last one here. I've got, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms again. So I'm going to circle my n squared. I always like to start with the highest power first, and then a minus n squared. And I box up my 5n and my plus 2n. Don't forget to do the signs in front. And I'm going to use a triangle. You can use any other shape you want. Okay? Going to combine the ones. Now this one is n squared minus n squared. Well, that's 0. So 0 n squared is really 0 times n squared. And 0 times anything is 0, so I really don't need to write anything down, because then 0 plus something is just the thing itself, so I don't need to write it down. Then I got 5n plus 2n is going to be 7n. Then I've got 5 minus 4, which is 1. So that is a really short, really simplified version of that. That's real simple, a lot more simpler than all that. Okay, so that's what we're going to be working on in class and doing some fun activities with that.